In the headlines, President Muhammadu Buhari launches rice revolution in Abuja. National Assembly set to introduce electoral amendment bill to address grey areas. Police arrest suspected killers of medical doctor. And on the foreign scene, Malta's Roberta Metsola elected as EU Parliament's third woman president. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Zainab Bala. Hello and welcome to the program. Now, President Muhammadu Buhari has commended the Anchor Borrowers program designed to encourage investment in agriculture and empower smallholder farmers as one of the reference points in improving agriculture in the country. The president gives his commendation while launching the Rice Pyramids organized by the Rice Farmers Association of Nigeria in Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Gaza Yakubu reports.
Since Nigeria banned importation of rice in the country, local farmers through the Anchor Borrowers program have been encouraged to produce rice sufficient to address the importation need of the country. The program, initiated in 2015 by the current administration, is paying off. The Rice Pyramid, according to the Vice President, Rice Farmers Association of Nigeria, RIFAN, Muhammad Awal, are evidence of this.
You can see the whole of this is a loan repayment by farmers which collected our loan some time ago, and they paid us back with this party. So every bag of this party belonged to a farmer that repaid his loan. So Nigerians, we know, are hardworking and are keen into this project. That is why today we are the #1 rice producers in Africa.
President, National Coordinating Organization for Farmers Association in Gambia, Musa Efso, says the event is an eye-opener to the African countries in producing what to consume.
We can feed ourselves. West Africa can feed themselves. Seeing what is here right now, 13 different pyramids, and each of them has 1 million bags of paddy rice. That's not a small thing. And we were also informed that this is only the seed payment to the bank of the Central Bank of Nigeria. It means 99.9% of all that is produced for the cropping season is already with the farmers. So I think the best thing is we want to live a healthy life. We want to improve the health and the life of our farmers. We also want to create employment and income. The best thing is let's produce what we eat and eat what we produce. That is the only solution in West Africa.
With the volume of rice consumed in the country, many say Nigerians can only hope that these developments will bring forth food security.
In every part of the world, the major consumption food is rice. And certainly, the capacity at which we are driving now, and by banning importation, it translates that we have to go more further to make it affordable. But at this moment, it's available. But at least to a certain degree, it cannot accommodate the populace that are really into it or demanding to consume it. This is particular. And our strategy is gradually moving towards saying that there's a mass production and it's available and affordable.
The price of locally made Nigerian rice per bag is 39,000 naira with a major 900 naira depending on the product. But with these rice pyramid, if sent to the milling industry, it is hoped that it will help address the price of rice in the market. But on when rice is going to be affordable in the Nigerian market is a story for another day. Gaza Yakubu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Now, detectives of the Nigeria Police attached to the Federal Capital Territory FCT Command have arrested 3 suspected killers of an Abuja-based medical doctor, Dr. Obisike Ibe, and his friend Ezekiel Edoja. Parading the suspects in Abuja on Tuesday, the Commissioner of Police, FCT Command Sunday Babaji, said investigations carried out by the police revealed that the suspect carted away a vehicle, an envelope containing about $1,000, mobile phone of the deceased doctor, and the ATM card which was used to withdraw money to the tune of 2 million naira from Ibe's account. Ibe, 37-year-old doctor working at the Zenith Lab and Kidney Center, Abuja, and his friend were reportedly murdered. The doctor's residence in the Games Village area of the FCT. They were said to have been stabbed several times in the chest and abdomen. Ibe is slated to travel to the United States of America with his friends the day they were murdered. Quite tragic, but moving on, as part of efforts to end banditry and insurgency in the north, a summit on reviving traditional institutions held in Kano State. The summit, part of the 2022 annual lecture in honor of Sir Ahmadu Bello, attracts northern leaders, politicians and captains of industry. Trust TV correspondent Idris Jibril reports.
Reviving northern traditional institutions as imperative to peace and security in northern Nigeria is the focus of this year's Sir Ahmadu Bello Memorial Leadership and Good Governance Lecture.
I have challenged northern leaders. Every day we're talking of Sardauna. When can we have another Sardauna? So that we'll stop talking about the past and look at the current situation where things are made to work, like Sardauna made things to work without any ethnic or religious coloration in his handling of affairs.
According to the Nigeria's Vice President, Professor Yemi Oshibanjo, the legacies and leadership qualities on good governance of the late Sir Ahmadu Bello, the Sardauna of Sokoto, is the key to reviving the region's traditional institutions through emphasis on peace and security as the most important sector of the Buhari administration.
This entrenched structural duality which we have allows us to be able to tackle problems like insecurity holistically. There is a moral orbit of trust that traditional leaders who live in closest proximity to the people possess, that the law, in a strict sense, does not possess. It is this social consensus secured at the community level that makes our larger political consensus tenable.
According to these people, northern degradation, courtesy of destruction of human lives, kidnapping for ransom and banditry are the major threats to reviving the region's traditional institutions.
The fundamental flaw in Nigerian security framework is the limited or near absence of actionable criminal intelligence. Yet, there is no greater repository of intelligence than the traditional rulers. We have these factors, and this must be accepted and given to us.
For Governor Abdullahi Ganduje, the relative peace and security currently being enjoyed in Kano is largely credited to the state government reforms, which include creation of additional emirates across the state.
Levels, I think in order to revive the traditional institutions, we should take so many factors into consideration. First, the issue of succession. Second, the issue of education, especially at the ward level and the village level. From what we have observed, the level of development of education among the subjects is much higher than the level of development of education at the ward and the village level. And when you have disparity in education, you have problem of confidence.
Meanwhile, the Northern Governors Forum say a committee has since been set up to recommend to the forum the best way to solve the region's various problems, particularly peace and security.
Perhaps this is why the Northern Governors Forum, after a series of deliberations with the traditional institutions in the region, decided to set up a committee to review the role of our royal fathers and see how they can be given definite roles in governance, as was the case before.
While they gather to remember the great Northerner, these people also expect a legal framework to revive the region's traditional institutions. Idris Jibrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
Residents of communities affected by activities of bandits and insurgency in Niger State have described President Muhammadu Buhari's directive on military operation in the state as long overdue. According to the residents, activities of bandits in Niger communities have displaced many and their families. The report.
President Labma Youth Assembly Jibrin Allawa said communities in Shiroro are heavily hit by activities of banditry and insurgency, noting that several villagers who now live as internally displaced persons in Gwada and Kuta, both in the local government, want to return to their homes but are scared and still in shock.
Banditry activity started from my community, which is Alawa. It was like a story before it's quite spreads like a wildfire. At a point, my village head was the first victim. When they attacked our community, they killed the village head and 4 of his kinsmen. That was how it started. And the issue of LACMA is constitutes 8 political wards across Shiroro Dam in Shiroro local government area of Niger State. We are the most hit amongst all the communities in issues of banditry in Niger State.
Also speaking, the president, the Blue Resolution Initiative, a Mina-based civil society organization, Muhammad Abubakar, stressed the need for authorities to also deal with the small arms proliferation in the communities.
It's actually a good development in the sense that the number of sporadic attacks in some of this community has increased tremendously in the number of days before now. So the federal government, through the president, giving this directive, is actually coming at a better time where most of these peasant farmers could not access their farm inputs. Life has become so difficult. So if militarization is actually the way out, we felt that it's the best way out for them. I think it's the best direction. It's the best decision taken in the right direction.
I think it's long overdue. We shouldn't wait until more people die in the hands of these miscreants before the president will direct massive military intervention. A single life should be as much priority to the government, than just allowing it to escalate to multiple communities and multiple lives being lost to it. So it's a welcome development.
Meanwhile, dozens of people from the communities, especially those in Shiroro, Munya, Mashegu, Rafi local government areas of Niger State, have been killed by bandits and insurgents in the last 2 years. The villagers say they expected the military operations directed by the president to yield the desired results by putting an end to the attacks.
Now, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, says the amended Electoral Act bill rejected by President Muhammadu Buhari for assent will be reintroduced to the House on Wednesday for possible rework. The Speaker said this at the plenary on Tuesday in his address to welcome members of the House back from the 2021 Christmas holidays. He commended lawmakers for the work done in passing the Electoral Act Amendment Bill, which did not receive assent by the President due to the introduction of direct primaries as mode of electing aspirants by political parties. The Speaker, however, promised Nigerians that the House will look into the concerns raised by the President reintroducing the bill.
That the proposal for direct primary elections is valuable for building accountability in our political system. But we must not allow the perfect to be the enemy of the good. Therefore, the House will reintroduce the amendment tomorrow, and we will work quickly to address the mitigating concerns, pass the bill, and send it back to His Excellency President Muhammad Buhari for assent. As to the issues relating to inelegant drafting and other technical errors in the bill, this is a matter of concern, as it appears the version sent to the President differs from what is circulating in the public domain. However, in December of last year, I appointed a technical team to look into the issue. I expect to have their report within the next day or two so that we can proceed to the next stage.
In the meantime, Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) says it will not release schedules for the 2023 elections until the Electoral Act Amendment Bill is passed into law. Chairman of the Commission, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, said this during the Commission's first quarterly consultative meeting with political parties at its headquarters in Abuja. Trust TV's Sagir Ibrahim has more.
Speaking during its first quarterly consultative meeting with political parties at its headquarters in Abuja, The chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, gave an update on its continuous voter registration exercise.
A total of 8,260,076 eligible Nigerians commenced the online registration, completed the registration physically, or applied for transfer to new voting locations. Some applied for replacement of their permanent voters' cards or updated their voter information record as required by law.
As plans are being finalized for the conduct of the Ekiti and Osun State governorship off-cycle election, the Commission also warned political parties participating in the poll that it will not accept primaries conducted outside the state. This is as the chairman lamented that most political parties organize party primaries in the last minute, despite the Commission giving ample time for the conduct of the primaries.
While the Commission has earmarked a period of 3 weeks and 4 days, that is exactly 25 days for the conduct of the Ekiti State governorship primaries, virtually all political parties have decided to hold their primaries in the last 4 days, that is 26th to the 29th of January 2022. In fact, 7 political parties have chosen the last day for the conduct of their primaries. Similarly, no party has so far submitted its list of aspirants, the composition of its electoral panel, or the register of members or list of delegates, depending on the chosen mode for electing its candidates. In the cases of Ekiti and Osun governorship elections, any primaries conducted outside the 2 states will not be monitored by the Commission, and their outcomes will not be accepted.
Professor Yakubu added that the Commission remains optimistic towards the speedy passage of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill, which when passed will set the framework for the 2023 general election.
The Commission is encouraged by the Senate President's assurance to give priority attention to the bill when the National Assembly reconvenes from its recess, and the commitment by the President to assent to the bill as soon as the issue of mode of primaries by political parties is resolved. We look forward to a speedy passage of the bill, which is crucial to our preparations for future elections. As soon as it is signed into law, the Commission will quickly release the timetable and schedule of activities for the 2023 general elections based on the new law.
Also, the chairman of the Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC, Yusuf Sani, in his remarks called for a quick resolution of grey areas in the Electoral Act Amendment Bill to fast-track its passage.
In their review of the bill before passage for the presidential assent, the IPAC is further suggesting that the National Assembly should seize the opportunity to look into the various aspects of the statute to ensure the eradication of grey areas on the basis of which the President had withheld his assent in the 2019 attempt at its amendment by the National Assembly. In that regard, legislators will do well to collaborate with INEC and other strategic stakeholders such as the IPAC to guarantee the elimination of errors, ambiguities, and non-compliance with provisions of the Constitution.
Sagir Ibrahim reporting for Trust TV.
Women at the top echelon of governance underscore the need to leverage on their networks in transforming societies through participation in politics. They handled the demands at the 2-day summit tagged One Voice, Women Uniting for Progress in Abuja, the nation's capital. Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman was there.
Delivering a keynote address at the conference, Liberia's Vice President Joel Taylor says it is imperative for leaders in the country to leverage on women networks for rapid socio-economic development anchored on inclusive governance.
Permit me to bring to your consciousness the enormity of the political shift which is taking place today. The first issue is why a women's conference? Because the statistics prove that females make up 49.3% of the population. That means women make up about 125 million people across Nigeria. That indeed is a large number. If the APC has registered voters or registered party members of 41 million, then you have another 65 or 70 million who who can become a part of this great political work.
Declaring the session open, wife of Nigeria's President Aisha Buhari says women must be integrated into mainstream politics and governance as critical stakeholders in nation building.
We need more women in decision-making bodies from local government, state up to federal level. And the governors are here, the ball is in their hands. I think if we did not get 35 affirmative action that we desired or that we are entitled to, we need to hold the governors responsible.
Chairman, Nigeria's Governors Forum, Governor Kade Fayemi, and his Progressive Governors counterpart, Governor Atiku Bagudu, underscored the roles being played by women across sectors and urged the forum to develop a demand charter for the realization of their aspirations.
I hope this conference will come up with a charter of demand that will come to that policy convention on issues that are germane to our women. I know that we have covered a lot of ground, but we still have a lot of grounds to cover.
As went to primary school or secondary school or universities with women who are much more brilliant and smarter than us. But somehow they end up not doing very well as men in maybe national life or in business life because they face barriers that ought to be appreciated and dealt with.
Despite constituting more than 50% of the nation's electoral database, women have been having running battle actualizing the much talked about 35% affirmative action to guarantee a fair representation of the feminine gender in decision making. Shapir Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
You're watching Trust TV News updates coming up in a moment. How transportation business employs thousands in Gombe State. Details of this story and more after the break. Do stay. Welcome back. You're still watching Trust TV News Update. Our top stories. President Muhammadu Buhari has commended the Anchor Borrowers Program designed to encourage investment in agriculture and empower smallholder farmers as one of the reference points in improving agriculture in the country. And detectives of the Nigeria Police attached to the Federal Capital Territory Command have arrested 3 suspected killers of an Abuja-based medical doctor, Dr. Obesike Ibe, and his friend Ezekiel Edoja. Still ahead, Nigeria Center for Disease Control says 163 cases were recorded in 12 states and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. According to the agency's records, Nigeria recorded a slight fall in its daily COVID cases on Tuesday, with 310 persons discharged after recovering from the infection. The agency recorded 6 fatalities on Tuesday, bringing the total number of deaths to over 3,000. So far, over 200,000 cases have been confirmed, with over 200,000 recoveries. Meanwhile, in other reports, the World Health Organization says the COVID pandemic is far from over, cautioning against the narrative that the Omicron variant is risk-free, while in Greece, the authority has imposed fines of €100 per month on unvaccinated adults over the age of 60. And on the foreign scene, centre-right Maltese lawmaker Roberta Metsola is on Tuesday chosen as the 3rd woman to head the European Parliament. Elected on the day she turns 43, the politician from the European Union's smallest nation becomes the youngest president ever to run the chamber. She takes over at a time of mourning for the legislature as it marks the sudden death last week of its speaker, David Sassoli. Metsola, a member of the biggest parliamentary bloc, the European People's Party, was already the frontrunner to replace the centre-left Italian parliament chief under a deal struck by the main political groupings. Metsola's career has been intertwined with her Mediterranean homeland's membership of the EU, and her rise to a job usually dominated by lawmakers from bigger powers could help shine the spotlight on often overlooked countries. And that's it on News Updates. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Zainab Bala. Thanks for your time and company.